One of the key advantages of Analytics 360 is the ability to seamlessly export Google Analytics data to Google BigQuery in near real time. This means that your organization can harness Google's infrastructure to power fast and flexible queries over massive data sets. BigQuery is a data warehouse that lets developers and businesses tap into powerful data analytics on demand using a familiar SQL-like query language across terabytes of data. Analytics 360, as well as other Google products, can easily export data to BigQuery. Google Analytics for Firebase integrates with BigQuery very much like Analytics 360 does. And now, the Google Data Transfer Service lets you export data from other Google tools, like AdWords and YouTube. BigQuery can also be used to combine data from other sources. This lets you tie your analytics data to other data from your organization. Adding other data sources to BigQuery may require using an extract, transform, and load, or ETL process, but the Analytics 360 integration is seamless. Google is doing all that ETL work for you. Because BigQuery is part of the Google Cloud Platform, you can use other components of that platform to analyze, store, or otherwise process your data. BigQuery has no visualization capabilities, but it integrates well with various visualization tools. Google's Data Studio has a data connector for BigQuery that lets you access any BigQuery data source, not just analytics. Let's discuss what you can do when using BigQuery with your Google Analytics data. One of the biggest drivers for exporting your analytics data to BigQuery is the flexibility of combining it with data from other sources. There are also additional benefits. While Analytics 360 has much higher sampling thresholds than Analytics Standard, with BigQuery, you can avoid sampling altogether. This lets you analyze massive amounts of historical data. When you export Analytics 360 data to BigQuery, you have all your data at the hit level, giving you better granularity for analysis than what's available in the Google Analytics interface. And finally, you can perform deep path analysis and other analysis that can't be performed using Analytics 360 data in the web UI, like clustering or grouping, and cross-device and cross-session analysis. The standard and custom reports in Google Analytics aggregate users' activity to make everyday reporting easy and quick. For features specific to a particular web application, BigQuery provides the needed flexibility to model the data any way you like, thereby enabling the creation of totally new reports. Let's walk through a couple of examples. Let's say your site provides online courses. You could use BigQuery to analyze acquisition and retention of students and answer questions like how much time passes between when a student signs up for her first course until the time she signs up for her second course. Or what's the average and distribution around how much time passes between course signups. The amount of time between course signups is not readily available in the Google Analytics Standard or custom reports, but is easily calculated in BigQuery as long as you're familiar with SQL. You could also use BigQuery to answer questions like, what are the most and least common page paths that users take across the site? And how do those paths differ between users who sign up for a class versus those who don't? In the Google Analytics interface, you can't get the raw, unsampled paths that a user followed. With BigQuery, you can essentially say, show me the most common steps. In a similar way, you can use BigQuery to analyze the characteristics common to high-value returning customers. Then, you can use those insights to steer your new user acquisition efforts towards customers that are more likely to demonstrate a higher lifetime value. Ideally, you'd perform this analysis over a large number of customer interactions. Simply because of the volume of data involved, BigQuery would be an ideal tool for your team. Using this type of analysis, you might discover that some cities exhibit dramatically different behavior than other cities, so your team might want to tailor their marketing strategy by location. Or you might find that a particular cohort of customers almost always purchases after a particular type of campaign. If you're also recording a user ID for these customers, you could tailor a marketing campaign specifically for them. Or perhaps you learn that a particular news event was highly correlated with a decrease in purchases from your company's most loyal customers. These are just a few examples of the reporting capabilities made accessible by BigQuery. You should now understand the key benefits of integrating and reporting with BigQuery. In the next lesson, we'll cover important considerations to keep in mind as you get started using Analytics 360 with BigQuery.